Yes, welcome back to yet another episode of divorcee. For this episode, I'm going to focus more on a post that I made during the week, last week, on advice. And it stated that give zero power to people who give their opinion about stuff they have never done. I made this post on my LinkedIn. I've been very active on making my LinkedIn brand better. But I want to give more weight to that post. And I think I'll give it more clarity because I've given thought to it. And so I've come up with this episode. And it will be the weight of advice. Who should you listen to? Whose advice should you take? Because sometimes the world is so difficult that the statement that gives zero power to people who give their opinion about stuff they have never been in may not apply. So I'm wrestling with that idea. The idea of whose advice really matters. For example, if you listen to that statement when someone says it, probably you would never take, let's say, swimming lessons from someone who has never touched water. But then I'll bring it to your notice that, yes, like I said, life is complicated. I'll give it an example. Let's say you met a gentleman that has just divorced their wife. Yes, the power to give an opinion about things that they have never done here won't work if you want advice marriage, because this person ideally has gone through marriage. The only thing is my moral compass would question that this person has gone through a divorce, meaning whatever they did failed. I'm asking for advice so that I become successful. So where does this whole idea of giving zero power to people who have not gone through what you're going through to influence your decisions and all that, where do we draw the line? Because even a priest, let's say for marriage counseling before your wedding, a priest for the Catholics has never gone through marriage, but they're giving advice. And yes, they may be giving advice based on a principle. The divorcee could be giving advice based on their scars, based on their mistakes they made, and the advice could be good. But remember, one of them failed, one of them has not gone through it. And as we all know, nothing is perfect. So even though you got someone still in marriage, their advice would not go to the end of the statement that it says give zero power to people who give their opinion about stuff they have never done. When we say done, I believe we all know English. When we say done, it means it's done and finished. It is completed. And if someone is going through the marriage, then they're not completed. So maybe I'm overthinking this, but I would think the weight of advice, who should you really listen to, given the scenarios of life? Personally, I believe it would first of all come from you discerning their motive. Are they coming from a place of bitterness, pain, or are they coming from love, genuine love? The most genuine love we can ever have is from our parents, at least on earth, and maybe the love of God and all that. But the whole idea comes around you getting to know what was the motive behind the advice they were giving you. Or are they giving it to you because they actually love to see you prosper? They actually love to see you go through this a better way. Not because of the pain or bitterness, but because they do actually have genuine love for you. The other thing would be the foundation. You should discern the foundation. Whatever they are telling you, the truth, is it rooted in truth, values, or it is just personal opinion? That is what the white man calls objectivity. Is their advice objective? Because many times, I believe as human beings, we want to hear what is good. We want to hear what we want to hear. So many times people give advice based on what you want to hear. Let's say you are talking to them about your relationship. Most people will lean towards what you're telling them. They will lean towards seeing that you leave that conversation also happy or thinking that they are in your place. However, I call on to all of us to be more objective. Even when you're listening to someone giving you advice, try to discern, are they giving you advice in an objective way? Are they rooting their advice from truth or values? Because many times we are also on the wrong side of the coin. And so it happens that because someone wants to keep you happy, they stay on your side of the coin. Then also, the other thing is the season. You need to discern the season in which you're in. Because not all advice is relevant to where you are in life. It's relevant to how far you've reached in life. It's relevant to what you're doing in a given time of life. If someone is not dating, or if someone is not in a relationship, I believe some pieces of advice may not make sense to them. If someone is not at work or chasing the 9 to 5 or the corporate ladder and they're in business, some advice will not work for them. So it's all about discerning what is relevant to where you are in your life. Because at the end of the day, advice is like food. You see, when you eat food, when you're given a plate on a wedding, I recently attended a wedding, when you're given a full plate of food, it happens that you don't eat everything or you don't swallow everything. There's some things you eat, you chew, you taste, and even spit out the bones. So meaning, your advice, you should have an advice filter in your mind. There are things you're going to chew, there are things you're going to taste, there are things that you're going to spit out. Meaning, that is how you get to know the weight. Whose advice are you going to be able to chew, to swallow? Whose advice are you going to just test? Whose advice are you going to spit out like the bones? Because that is where the weight of advice comes from. That is where you see whether you have to give power to a person who has either gone through what you're going through or has not even gone through what you're going through. But based on the other three things, the foundation, the motive, and the season, do they concur with what you are envisioning for your life? Are they objective? Is it rooted in truth? Is it out of genuine love for you? Otherwise, that's what I think the weight of advice should be. Regardless, listen to people. Don't show that you don't want to listen to them, because it's human nature. Everyone wants to be listened to, but know when to chew, know when to taste, when to swallow, when to spit out. Otherwise, that is it for Bezos Chibozi this week. I hope you have a good week ahead of you, and yes, keep it at Bezos Chibozi. See you soon. If you've loved this episode, please share it with your friends and relatives and anyone that is trying to understand the weight of advice. See you next Monday. Peace.